Hello Leeds United fans, quick one from me. Happy New Year, of course, but yeah, I wanted to speak on the win today. Leeds defeating Birmingham 3-0. No watch along today, we're getting into the thick of things tomorrow. Really going to be getting on, in full swing with a lot of the rumours and the Patreon content and the podcasts going into this week. It has been a bit of a break over the Christmas period, as you can probably have tell by the content. However, we have been trying as much as possible to get some out for you, but it is family time as well, isn't it? I think that's what we should all remember when it comes to work and content creation. You should always take a step back, especially at this time, or you've definitely missed out. So yeah, I hope you've all had a really good New Year's Eve. It's been a turbulent period for United, hasn't it? It's been 2 losses in 2. It's been 2 dire performances in 2, and a real regression, in my opinion, in open play. I think it's been a regression in our style of play. I think it's been slower. I think Leeds' connectivity when it comes to the defence to the attack has been okay, but not great. I also think that, certain individuals have been underperforming, and I don't think they've been putting in maybe the effort and the strides that we've seen earlier on in the season. So Daniel Farke elected to make 5 changes at the start of proceedings today. He made 5 changes as well, which maybe makes you think to yourself, has he got his best first 11? Does he know his best first 11? And probably the 2 biggest shocks for me were that he dropped Jed Spence from right back, which I did think was harsh, I'll be honest with you, and I think the result would have been the exact same. If Spence had played today, it could have been even better with how poor Birmingham were on that left-hand side. And Joel Perreault was dropped. Now, Perreault was an interesting one. I was speaking the other day about him just not being a number 9, and maybe Daniel Farke thought that there had to be some threat in behind Birmingham City, someone actually going off the shoulder of the centre-back instead of Leeds United just playing in front and looking for Crysencio Somerville's run beyond the left-back, which seems to be a hallmark of Leeds United now. When the opposition are taking Crysencio Somerville out of the game, Leeds really have no outlet because Jorginho Rutter will drop deep, Perreault will drop deep, Kamara and Ampadu are obviously deep, and then you'll get maybe James trying to replicate what Somerville's doing, but not to as dazzling effect. Now, going into the game today, I wanted a resounding win. I wanted a performance, and I wanted Leeds United to put a bit of a statement down. Now, what I will say about that Birmingham side, with the greatest of respect, is that is the most terrible side I've seen at Ellen Road this season. That's not taking anything away from Leeds United, but it was a hideous football team, not able to play football at all, just on a basic level. They were, even when there was a half press from Leeds United, they were stumped. They didn't know what to do. They'd go long, then they'd go short, without really having any plan, any tactical idea behind anything. It was just, we'll do this because we're not really sure what's going on here. There wasn't a change in style throughout the game. There was no pragmatism from Wayne Rooney. It looked completely rancid. They were awful, really, really bad. And we've seen some bad teams at Ellen Road this season, but they 100% pick the rest of them. I mean, 2 wins in 14. It's dire, and it's a dire state of affairs for Birmingham City. Replacing John Eustace when they were in the top 6 with Wayne Rooney. What a dire state of affairs when it just comes to football in general, and an American rebranding and wanting an American-based coach. If you look at Rooney with what he was doing in the States and a name out there, and it's a very sad state of affairs at Birmingham. But we're not here to talk about Birmingham, but they, context applied, for me, were the worst team we've seen at Ellen Road, and arguably this season against Leeds United. So Leeds were always going to create chances. I think at the end of the game we had 10 shots on goal, or it might have been on target. And we were the better team. Look, we were completely dominant in that game, and you're expecting, I'm not completely amazing. I'm not, because I'm just I expect that, we've got to start measuring expectations a little bit here and thinking that Leeds have to do that to teams like Birmingham. It's a prerequisite that we do that to teams like Birmingham. It's not, what a magnificent result, even though it's a really good result for Leeds. What we need to do, and what's in my head right now, is that can we do that at Cardiff? At Leeds United's next game, which is going to be a tough one. But now what Leeds have shown me is that the inconsistency is rife. So with the last 2 games, it was paramount we got the win today. But what we do need to do is follow that up. Now, can Leeds follow that up against the Cardiff City side? You'd hope that they can do. They came to Elm Road earlier on as well when Leeds were disjointed and they didn't look great. Main threat's probably been Aaron Ramsey in that side, but Cardiff have gathered a little bit of momentum since then, and that is the game that I'm now looking at. I've put Birmingham to bed, even though we're talking about Birmingham now, and I'm immediately looking at Cardiff City because the consistency of this Leeds side hasn't been good enough, and especially away from home. Now, Connor, bask in the win. Okay, yeah. And I am. Leeds have won the game. It's great. We were the better team. I still have a few problems, I think, with the side, though. That just the lack of ruthlessness in front of goal just seems to have been here since Marcelo Bielsa, and that game should have ended up 8-0 again. 8-0, the chances missed by Dan James, the chances missed by Rutter. Bamford just getting in the way of a couple. But on the positive side of things, Bamford did score an out-and-out number 9 in and behind the centre-backs. I would still like Leeds to go and do an out-and-out number 9 in January. I think that's going to be very, very difficult. I want to see Jed Spence back in that side at right-back. We need a right-back in there. I'm hoping that Leeds have set up a left-back as well. We're going to speak about the left-back that Leeds have apparently been linked with tomorrow on the Room Mill, and we're going to go into a little bit of a profile of him, of which I'm really excited, so make sure you tune into that tomorrow morning. I think we're going to be doing a live stream as well. So, yeah, listen, if Leeds are to go out and do that, that'd be great, but I think overall the balance of the side is what it is. We saw Byram go off again. It's pointless. Look, it's pointless. Don't renew his contract at the end of the year. It's completely pointless. Sentiment FC, we're not. Charity FC, we're not. The guy's just injured every other week. It's pointless. Just hobbles off. There's just no point, and it's a real problem for Leeds. So I am happy, but I need to see more consistency, and I need to see Leeds doing something in the transfer markets. They're my pointers today, and I think we do that. We saw Southampton, I think, have dropped 2 points against Norwich, which is good. It's still 18 unbeaten for them. Leeds are still 4 points behind them, but we have closed the gap, which is good. We've closed the gap on Ipswich again. Let's see if we can just build a bit of momentum now. Let's see if we can actually hunt them down. People have said to me, Connor, there's a lot of games left. There's 21, I believe it is. 2021, and they are right. But I need to see more from Leeds United. I need to see more consistency. When we see more consistency, I'll start to believe more that we can catch the top 2. With the inconsistency that we're showing at the minute, I'm just not believing it. If they start putting together runs, if they start putting together, really quality wins as well, and they start showing a little bit of innovativeness, and the rotation in the subs is good and it's quality, and the subs are producing more and more and more, then I'll start to think, okay. But at the minute, the proof isn't in the pudding that we can consistently do your 3-0s. We consistently do your away wins. You have to win away from home consistently to get promoted in this division. You can't just rely on your home form, and you can't be getting beaten as well by the teams that we've been getting beaten by. So it's positive. You've got Bamford on the score sheet. Somerville getting another goal. I thought he was excellent today. Rutter was just superb. I mean, the criticism I have with him is just his composure on the edge of the box is phenomenal. His composure and his strength and his athleticism just in and around that middle ground is unbelievable. But it's when he gets in the box, it's just, the cutting edge when it comes to putting the ball between those 12 yards just isn't there. It's weird. It's so strange. But maybe, as we know, he's just not on number 9. Because number 9 will put a lot of these chances in. I still think he's on 4 goals for the season, even though he's smashing the league when it comes to assists. But overall, happy with today. But like you, like all your mates, like your family who support Leeds, you'll be thinking to yourself, right, well, I'm sat there watching it with my old man, and I'm thinking, well, Cardiff, let's see now. We go out, put a statement in against Cardiff, who are doing well. They're in that sort of outside spot where you're thinking they might be able to get into the playoffs here. If we put a number in on them and we don't falter, like we have done against playoff potential teams like, obviously Southampton, Sunderland, potentially Coventry, teams of that ilk, Stoke City, who are just very mid-teams, but Leeds struggle against them. It's almost like they don't seem to get up for it as much as they do for certain other games. When you're looking at Ipswich, doubleheader, and Leicester. But there's been teams who've dropped points today. Ipswich and Southampton and Leeds have won. That momentum, everybody, simply has to carry on. It has to carry on. I don't want to be coming on here when we're about to play Cardiff and be turning around to you guys and saying, look, I'm not confident, and then be coming on after Cardiff and saying that's why. They need to show a lot more. Farke's changes I didn't mind today, but I would still like to see us revert back to what, I'll be honest with you, I like what I saw with Bamford. I'd still... Bamford's such an interesting one tactically because he is a number 9 and he's always going to play off the shoulder. And I think he was giving us options off the shoulder, which Perot doesn't give you. He gives you options in front of the defence, which is easy to defend against. It's much easier to defend what's in front of you than what's behind you. Bamford might be getting offside at occasions, but he's offering something in behind. the defender, which is a completely different strategy. And I think it did help us stretch them a little bit today with Perot. Everything's in front. So maybe there is an option that you'd stick with Pat Bamford for the Cardiff game. And if it's not going well, change it around. But overall, good news, Leeds, today. We're going to be back with the Room Mill tomorrow, everybody. We're going to be back with your full football schedule now as of tomorrow. As I say, I hope you've enjoyed the festive period. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll catch you in a bit.